morning, Meg, and thanks for having me. We are pretty close. In fact, this is really an unprecedented program. Between January 23rd, when the sequence of this virus was identified, till today, about 9 months later, we have 3 vaccines in phase 3 and a 4th one starting imminently. And 2 of those vaccines in the US have their phase 3 trials almost fully recruited to the original plan. And really the readout of this phase 3 trial is 50% of the answer to the question. When we read out efficacy, that is going to happen somewhere between October and December, January. The longer we wait, the more likely. The reason we don't know and we can't predict it is because it depends on the number of cases in the study. The other 50% of what's really important to define when the vaccine will be available is actually manufacturing and availability of vaccine doses. That's also progressing very well. We're investing in a large number, up to 25 different manufacturing facilities in the US to help manufacture the 6 vaccines that we're supporting. And we already are stockpiling small amounts of vaccine doses that will become readily available in November and in December. And if approval is granted around that time, or authorization, we may be able, for instance, to immunize the most susceptible populations in the US by December of 2020, most of the elderly population and first-line workers in January of 2021, and the rest of the US population progressively in the month of February, March, and April.
I see. Well, that's a really helpful clarity on the timeline. I want to ask you also about getting this data from the phase 3 trials. We've seen the protocols be posted publicly from the 3 leading vaccine candidates, something that drug companies typically don't share, but they're citing increased need for transparency during this pandemic. And what they show is that there is the possibility for early looks at the data based on just a few dozen events. In Pfizer's case, 32 infections in this phase 3 trial. And if the balance is good enough for the vaccine,